Hello and welcome to Satisfactory. My name is Varys and I hope you enjoy this episode. I'm tired of making ugly rinky-dink factories that just kind of string together to give me whatever I need. They're not really attractive, they don't necessarily draw the eye, there's nothing special about them. This game's all about doing something fantastic, something out of the ordinary. Kind of like belting 250 screws down from the build limit and the iron up to the build limit. Plus we've got this guy, the space elevator. He requires a lot of parts that I don't really have the infrastructure to make. So today, I'm starting something that I will dub the Meatball. Now my whole plan with this is just to make kind of like this spherical hodgepodge mess of conveyor spaghetti, as people call it, and then, you know, the sphere of spaghetti turns into a meatball. That's, you know. And all this in hopes to just kind of automate everything starter base wise, just get a large stockpile so nothing is not being made after this is done. So production of the meatball is going swimmingly. Let me show you it from the ground. So it's coming along great. It's a little bit more conical than I'd like, not as spherical, but we have plenty of time to work on that. This whole setup is also extremely basic constructor lines and basic assembler lines for plates, rotors, and frames. I have yet to put in steel production in this mess, so I think that's the next thing we're going to go tackle. And speaking of steel production, we're going to push this button and unlock it right now. And now the only thing to do after steel is to get coal, which I probably should have done first, but with a push of a button.
Milestone reached.
Now that we've unlocked coal, we just got to scan for it. Now, everything has been right in this crater, so the game wouldn't make me walk a super long distance to go get renewable and free power, would it? Oh. That's quite a ways. Fantastic. God forbid, Fixie, you drop me in a decent spot where everything's available. Now my frickin' fuse is blown because all these stupid water extractors shut my whole damn meatball down. Don't even look like a meatball. I don't care. Now that we have all of our coal and our water, we can start adding steel production to this, which takes it from looking like this to this. This is now a fully functioning tier 3 and 4 space elevator manufacturing meatball conveyor spaghetti mess. It didn't turn out as spherical as I would like, you know, but that's okay. It's okay. Also, side note, shout out to this game's zoom feature. I mean, I am like super far away, and that's just a crazy amount of distance to cover. So at the bottom you got your iron, your plates, your rods, not your screws. Those are already taken care of all the way up there. Then you move up to the left a little bit. You got all your copper, your wire, your copper sheeting, your cable. Limestone is in the middle somewhere. Steel's up top. Space elevator parts are on the right hand side, so it's all coming together pretty good. And I actually had to conveyor lift all the outputs up so I didn't lose them. I think it could be a little bit better. I think there's a couple of things that we could do that would make it look more like the meatball I envisioned. Just involves taking some of these here pipelines and changing them to a certain color. So this solution actually kills two birds with one stone, because our trusty power plant runneth dry. I've had to refill it twice now, so you know, me and the Loryx do have a standing beef because I keep just annihilating forests left and right. Real quick, pause Varys from the future here. If you haven't seen the first episode where we tore down the entire northern forest, go ahead and give it a watch. It's a cool video. I really like it, and a lot of other people did too, so thanks. We're going to take all of these water pipes and run them to a coal power plant on top of the meatball factory, which will in turn give it that red sauce shiny look, is my intention. If I can get out of this water thing, I might be stuck. Help. See, a normal person would just do all their coal power plant stuff here instead of belting all of the coal and all of the water all the way over there, but I'm not a normal person, and I hate myself. So that's where we are. So I'm now dubbing these red sauce extractors. They're not for water, they're for sauce. Pump all of our red sauce up to our meatball. Just gonna do some of that. Take these up there. Perfect. And you got to do some of those. It only took 12 pumps to get them up there. Hopefully we can run this Meatball as kind of like an independent factory, makes its own power, self-sustaining and all that. This is just a starter base too, guys. Like, you got to remember this. It can get so much worse. I can't even see the floor. The floor is... Oh, I see it. It's right there. No, that's the archway. That's not even the ground. That's just an immovable object that's in the middle of the factory. Lovely. Well, unless I did my math wrong, which I probably did, this should suffice for the water. So now I just got to get coal up here, and we will have sweet, sweet power. So it looks like right now, the Meatball consumes about 350 to 300 megawatts, you know, at any given moment. Max consumption, that's a hungry boy, 1,234.6. So, you know, we're not quite there yet. But I can happily say that about 1/3 of the power plant should provide enough power for what it does on a day-to-day basis, and then the other 2/3 will go well and above and beyond what we need for power right now to run this entire factory at full burn. Which means we can, of course, lay this old girl to rest. Now, I'm not going to demolish this power plant because it's special to me, but I probably won't use it as much once I get this up and running. And just like that, 18 coal generators later, we have a clean 1,300 megawatts steady power. So that should cover everything I have built in this world so far. The entire Meatball and all the smelters and miners attached to it. So now we just gotta... And I'm not a heathen, alright? I know I play this game weird, but I'm not a total crazy person, so I did put a priority power switch on this just in case. Just in case there's any fluctuation with the coal or whatever. So we can turn on this power plant. If I can find a pole down here somewhere. Oh, there's one. There we go. And now that that's done, we can cut the ties that's holding this power plant on. Wow. Capacity 780, max consumption 24. That's a pretty good ratio right there. So I've contained it to just these 6 constructors, and I think I'll let it kind of make itself out of fuel, and then it'll just be retired, and it'll all sit in there in those storage containers, and if I ever need to use it as an emergency kind of backup power source, then I will. But I think for now we're just gonna let it rest. And just like that, we now have a self-contained starter factory for the space elevator. Although I will say I think it's missing something. I think it needs a little bit, I think it needs a little touch, just like a cherry on top, to give it that real Meatball vibe. And done. Now I know what you're thinking. Walls might have been better, might have looked nicer, but it doesn't fit the whole, you know, pipeline conveyor belt spaghetti Meatball theme that I was going for. Now my favorite part about all this is it looks like it's steaming, like it's a hot meatball. That turned out pretty good, but overall I'm pretty happy with him. If you'll notice, there's a small thing sticking up. So I would like to see how this does with water. If fluid dynamics works the same way it does in real life, you should be able to fill it from the top and it would all equalize. I think we're going to try to do that. No, don't fly into it. Tragic. While we wait for the space elevator parts, I think we're going to fill this whole thing up with water. Just for fun, just to see kind of how it fills and what happens and how long that would take. So I think need some water pumps. Then we just have to get the water up there somehow. I can probably route it over to the other risers, and I think that's what we'll end up doing. So just run it up there with the other ones. Get absolutely clobbered in the face by these other pumps as we climb up our ladder. Make our way to the top of this monstrosity without falling down. Oh my goodness. Tie that into the top. Finish it off with a couple more pumps. We can find power somewhere down there. Alright, so we have water at the peak, which means we should now be filling up the entire system. Like, if you want to call it a system, I have no clue what you would call that. We're starting to see signs, so it's running through that one. It's running through that one. It's running through that one. It's spreading. So I guess we'll just wait until this is entirely full, and hopefully by then this factory makes enough space elevator parts for us to upgrade and call it a day. Right now we have none. We have 0.8 meters cubed in the pipe itself. So Hopefully by the time this is all filled up, we have a full meatball, and we have enough parts for the space elevator to upgrade and move on to tier 5 and 6, I believe. Has not made it to the bottom yet, so it's still just working its way down. And just like that, now we have all of our space elevator parts. We can shoot them up into the space elevator and finish our tier. And with the last versatile frameworks going in, we now have achieved bigger number, better person for the space elevator and send them away. Well, that's neat. We got a jetpack, and then we have the freedom. We can finally deliver this planet some freedom. Take all their oil. We also have trains, which is awesome. I don't know why the trains and the signals are in 2 separate batches, but you know, maybe they just want you to crash all your vehicles, and new pipelines and blueprints. So that's awesome. It's been about 6 hours, and these are still not full. They are moving water presumably to the bottom, but those look full too. So I don't know where it's going, but it's not done yet. It's been about 9 hours. I'm making my way to the top. I'm pretty sure it's full now. Also, it's really cool being in the middle of this and not being able to really see, I guess, over there, but not really being able to see the outside world. It's all just conveyors and pipe now. And that's it. Oh, still moving. Where is the water going? Oh my goodness, I really thought it was done. A lot of those were solid, so guess we'll check back in another couple of hours. Thought I was only going to do one more check-in, but I lied. It is the next day. I am well into the oil processes in episode 3. This is why the video took so long to come out. This damn meatball will not fill up no matter how long I wait. Alright, it has been days now. I have been playing for a very long time. I'm done with the setup for the entire next episode, which took forever. Here's a little sneak peek for anybody who cares, which will be getting in the next episode. That's all oil. I'm convinced that this meatball just is a living organism at this point, and it just moves water for whatever reason. We have no flow going into the meatball, so it's just all internal sloshing around in the pipes, I guess. So that's where I'm going to leave it. But if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and I will catch you in the next one. And thank you to everybody who left a comment in the first video. I really appreciate it. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.